Welcome back, Shop Rats. Today on Talk About It Tuesday, we're going to talk about 10 things that you can do right now that will keep you motivated to keep working on the projects that you're doing. So let's just watch a show intro. I'll see you in about 30 seconds. I'm Mike, and this is my car shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Cars Shop.
As a musician, one of the YouTube channels that I watch a lot is the Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, and he recently did a list of 10 things that you need to stop doing right now as a singer, and I thought, I'm stealing what Ken did, I'm plagiarizing, and I'm going to use that same list of 10 things, but I'm going to apply it to the automotive stuff that we do here around the shop and the stuff that you do also. So thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. I'm ripping you off, and I'm publicly admitting that, and of course I'm tagging you here in the video so that you know that. Probably the number one thing that people need to stop doing right away is to stop overthinking everything. Get doing, grab a wrench, grab a grinder, grab something, and start working on the project rather than spending all of your time sitting in the chair obsessing on what you should or shouldn't be doing, or where do I get started, or whatever. The best place to get started is the place you start. So stop overthinking and just do it. Do it now. The second thing kind of goes with the first one, and that is to stop worrying about what you can't do and do what you can. I mean, let's face it, not everybody can do every single thing on a car. But there's a lot of things that you can do, and you can learn, and you can grow, and you can stretch yourself and learn new skill sets, and you can ask friends for help who maybe know how to do things that you don't know how to do, and, well, just do what you can, and don't worry about what you can't do. The best way to learn is by doing. Number 3 kind of goes along with that also, and it has to do with overthinking and doing what you can, but stop regretting that you didn't start learning these skills sooner and learn them now. It doesn't matter if you're 15 or 50 or 60 or 75. Remember that the day that you stop learning is the day that you start dying. So stop worrying about what you didn't do 10, 20, 30 years ago and do what you can right now. You can still develop skills, learn new things, and better yourself as it comes to working on all of these cars. Number 4, stop saying you don't have time. What you're really saying is, it's not important to me, and therefore I'm going to spend my time doing other things. If it's important to you, you will make time to do it. You will find time to do it. You'll carve out time to do it. Remember, one of the big themes on the channel here is things are done one bite at a time. And we do what we can do when we have the time to, whether it's I have 5 minutes to take out a couple bolts now, or maybe run this grinder for a few minutes, or whatever it is. You can work for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and maybe carve out some bigger windows of time also. But the point is, you always spend time doing what's important to you. So don't make an excuse. Don't make yourself a victim. You have time should you choose to use it. Number 5, stop being fearful that you might screw it up and stop worrying about what other people think. There are certain critics on the channel who do nothing but flame me for the way I'm doing this car, and they think that I actually care, because I don't. You've got to have a little bit of tough skin. I mean, at the end of the day, your project car is your project car. So if you're happy with what you're doing and you're learning and growing and stretching yourself, who cares what other people think? So stop being fearful. So what if you screw it up? I mean, when we're doing a lot of this fabrication, so if we screw it up, so what? We cut it back out and we do it again. We screw that part up when we make it, so what? We throw that away and we make another one, or we fix it. It doesn't really matter, because it's more about the learning than it is the doing. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, the less mistakes you're going to make. And that's the reality. So ignore the naysayers, ignore those who criticize you, and stop criticizing yourself. Number 6, stop procrastinating. If you want to procrastinate about something, procrastinate about procrastinating. You can put that off till later. Again, it goes down to not overwhelming yourself and not overthinking and all the things that we've talked about up to this point.
Do it. Do it now.
That's what matters. Take 5 minutes, walk out in the shop. There's many days when, lately throughout the entire week, I have zero time right now to do anything out here during the week, and everything you're seeing is filmed on weekends. But I do come out here sometimes during the week, and I just look at stuff and ponder things, and not overthink, but get an idea, get a feel, and go for it. Now, in the channel here, it's a little bit different because I try not to do much of that unless I really have something I'm unsure about, because I want to share the thought processes with you as I'm thinking through things so that maybe you can learn from that or you can laugh at it. But the point is, don't put it off. Do it. Number 7, stop comparing. Play your game. If you're a football player, don't compare yourself to a wrestler. Don't compare yourself to a boxer. Play your game. Be happy with what you're doing. The world is full of critics, especially here on the web. Everybody's a keyboard warrior and is quick to jump all over what they don't like about what you're doing. Let's face it, the world is full of asshats. Believe me, I know. So what? If you're happy with what you're doing, if you're enjoying your car, nobody, and I mean nobody, has the right to insult you and tear you down for the work that you're doing. Enjoy your own work and screw the haters. You don't need that negativity in your life. You know, we're doing 9, 10, 11 projects here right now. Each project has its own unique set of flavors, and it seems like no matter what I'm doing, somebody's always flaming. So what? I like what I do, and I'm confident in what I do, and I'm constantly stretching myself and growing, and at the end of the day, I look out at that 47 Ford and I go, I did everything on that car myself. And people can criticize it or they can tear it down, but you know what? I did that. Number 8, stop waiting for the right time. The reality is there's never a right time. There's only this time right now. And again, if it's important to you, you'll make that happen. So check your priorities and don't wait for that great out there someday. And really, now is the right time. So stop talking yourself out of what you want to do and start doing. Even if it just means going to Harbor Freight and buying a couple tools, or sitting down with a parts catalog and picking out what you want, or mentally working on how you're going to make something, you can be thinking about these kinds of things throughout your day, no matter what you're doing. I spend a lot of time when I'm on the road filming episodes, as you know, for Talk About It Tuesdays and things like that, but I also spend a lot of time thinking, researching, on the internet, looking things up, because I might as well make the most of the time that I have while I'm waiting for something else. Whether I'm sitting in a waiting room waiting, or I'm sitting waiting for a process on a computer to finish, or whatever it is, there's always a few minutes every day to move yourself forward a little bit. So every moment is always the right time if you view it that way. Number 9 is a big one. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Things are never going to be perfect, and the reality is perfectionism kills creativity. And I feel sorry for people who are perfectionists because they spend so much time trying to make sure everything is right and everything is perfect, they never actually get to enjoy what they're doing. So things aren't going to be perfect. So what? Again, it goes back, enjoy what you're doing, enjoy what you're building, enjoy what you're making, and that's all that really matters. Perfectionism is an endless pit of paralysis. And finally, number 10, stop trying to be the car person that you're not, and be the car person that you are. You will quickly hear me say on the channel multiple times, I'm not a fabricator, I'm a guy who just happens to fabricate. I'm just an average guy with some average skills and some less than average tools to do what I do. And if I look at somebody like Matt from over at Iron Trap Garage, or the legendary Gene Winfield, I would quickly give up. But you know what? Over 40 years of making patch panels, and I think back to the early days when I was in high school back in the early 80s, and pop riveting galvanized metal on a car. not knowing what I was doing and so forth. And you know what? At the end of the day, it still kind of turned out respectable. And going to tech school and going through all the educational processes, and then working in body shops and working in hot rod shops and working all the places that I have, and seeing a diverse way across the industry of how things are done, you start to get a little bit of confidence that I can do things my way and I can be who I am. Now, the way I do things here isn't necessarily what's done out in the professional world. It's obvious. But I enjoy what I do. And I don't compare what I do to anybody else, because if I did, I would quit. I'm not interested. If you know me from the band, you know that my name is Rebel, and I will rebel against anybody and anything that tells me what I should do, because that's what I've always been. That is who I am, and I am confident and comfortable in that. Now, I must admit that sometimes when I look at somebody else's fabrication work or paint work or body work or that kind of thing, I do feel twinges of, man, why am I bothering? But you know what? I catch myself on that, and I stop that, and I just know that I am what I am. So be Popeye when it comes to the work that you do. You am what you am, and that's all that you am. Be yourself and screw the haters. Most of all, don't let yourself fall into that pit and that trap of looking at what everybody else does and saying, I'm not good enough. Because the reality is, you are fine just the way you are, as long as you are learning and growing. Over the years, one of my mentors many, many years ago told me to never go back and redo what you've done, but rather move on to the next thing. Each one is a learning experience. Let it stand for what it is and make the next one better. And boy, you know, that really has impacted my life in huge ways, because he was talking about other things, and I've applied that to every area of my life. As a musician and as a sound engineer and as a performer, I've really learned to apply that and say, you know, I could spend hours and hours and hours in the studio working on the music and never end and never actually produce and release any music. And when I listen to the early stuff in the band, no, it's not real great. It's okay. But what I do see over the 40 songs that we've released is a continual improvement. And I see that in the cars. I've worked on hundreds and hundreds of cars. I don't even know how many cars I've done. I've probably painted 50 cars, and I've worked on and restored it to various capacities. I've owned over 100 of these old cars in my lifetime. And each one is unique. And each one is a learning experience. And I look at things like I look at the Pro Street GTS and all that I did there, and I think, would I do it that way now? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not going back and redoing it. The car stands for what it is, because it really is a hallmark for that period of my life. And you can look at that car and you can pick it to death, but you know what? I'm proud of it, and I'm happy with it. I look at my 47 Ford the same way. I'm proud of it, and I'm happy with what I've done. Are there things I could do differently, could have done differently? Of course. I will take that lesson and apply it to the Stitches Challenger or the Forsyth Duster or the Golden Mullet or whatever next project I happen to be working on. So I want to give a shout out to Ken Tamplin again. Thanks for the inspiration for the list. I appreciate it. We're on the Face thing. We're on Instagram /mycarshop. We're here on the You thing. So subscribe, hit that bell so you receive those notifications, drop those comments down there, and one more thing, don't forget, it's important. Rock!